Yeah.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and a very warm welcome to everyone. In the current age, cryptocurrencies or cryptos in short have grabbed the attention of not only investors and prospective owners, but also regulators around the world. Cryptocurrencies in general and Bitcoin in particular have come to be treated more as an asset rather than a currency. Though cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin have provided huge return on investment over last few years, knowledge about crypto has also become important in today's context as a number of fraudulent schemes of investment bordering on Ponzi schemes have become operational in the market. Today, we will learn more about the cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, and the blockchain technology as we have expert on the subject with us. Dr. Sharad Kumar Malik, who is the RBI Chair Professor at IICA, would update us our knowledge on the subject. Dr. Malik has worked earlier with RBI and SEBI and brings the perspective of financial sector regulators of India as well on the subject. We hope that this session would be fruitful for everyone attending this session. With these words, I would invite Dr. Malik to commence his presentation. Dr. Malik, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Singh. It's a pleasure talking to your own colleagues. And as you all know that cryptocurrency, Bitcoins and blockchain, so these are the buzzwords nowadays, especially the Bitcoins. Many people uh, yeah. So thank you. So I would like to discuss about this thing and see that what are the issues relating to Bitcoins, cryptocurrency and blockchains. That is one, define that and how it progressed since 2017. Then what are the uh, regulatory issues? What is the thinking by Government of India and the currency regulator, the central bank, Reserve Bank of India, and how these bitcoins are progressing and demanded uh, by the investors all over the world. So I'm sure that it will be of interest to you because this is a new topic altogether, and this I had presented in Singapore, that monetary authority. So before we go to the cryptocurrencies, let us talk about the blockchain technology and the crypto ecosystem. So it is basically a blockchain technology which helps the cryptocurrencies uh, uh, to prosper, and this is an innovative form, as you all know, that of crowdfunding. So there are different sources of different instruments are there for people to invest, but the cryptocurrencies are one which are giving you the best returns among the asset classes. And like other exchanges in India, like where the trading takes place, when you come with the initial public offers, so the cryptocurrencies also come with the ICO. It is called the initial coin offerings, and after these are issued in the secondary market, so they are traded on the crypto exchanges. So these are called the crypto exchanges. Unlike the stock exchanges, what we know that Bombay Stock Exchange, the National Stock Exchange, or the Multi Commodity Exchange. So this is a crypto exchange. So if you talk about the growth, if you talk about the data part, on March 2021, so there are 80.6 bitcoins in circulations with total market cap of around 927 billion. So this is the figure which is very high in terms of see the market cap and the number of bitcoins available. So among the currencies, bitcoins constitute that I will be discussing in my next slides. So this constitutes 60% of the total cryptocurrencies. And today, if you talk about all the cryptocurrencies in existence, is around 1.5 trillion. And as I said, the Bitcoin represents more than 60% of the total value. Let us talk for a common man or a layman. I mean, what they think about this thing, especially in India and other parts of the world. In the systems, the financial sector, which are very developed in Western countries, they are out of it because all the changes, the new things come there only. But here we talk about like how they talk. Somebody says that I think we should build a blockchain. And others that really he understand what is blockchain and how it operates. So people are not knowing the intricacies of the blockchain technology, the bitcoins, the issues, initial coin offerings. So another gentleman says, yes, what color do you want that blockchain? I think mauve has the most RAM. So this is people, those who are not aware of the things, so they talk and discuss the things as if, I mean, it's something which they know it and they want to know, or they want to get a feel of it. So this is what they talk. So as I said, the blockchains are the best on the distributed ledger technologies. It's a technology in which as you know that all the technological innovations, the distributed ledger technologies where the cryptocurrencies are listed, and it builds the block of internet of value, and this enables, the blockchain enables the interactions and transfer of value from peer to peer, from one person to another person. So here in India, if you talk about the shares, how the shares are traded and how the shares are transferred through depositories. So like that, when you talk about the cryptocurrencies, the blockchain technology comes into the picture, and it plays a role in transferring the cryptocurrencies from one investor to another investor, one peer to peer. So here the value refers to the record of ownership of assets. So like other assets, what we have securities, we have gold, we have commodities, we have land. But this cryptocurrency, it's the value refers to ownership of assets. It is as I said in the beginning, it is an asset class. Like for example, money, securities, land titles are also ownership of specific information like identity, health information, and other personal data. But all these data are kept in the blockchain technology. So this is a distributed ledger. So let's understand what is blockchains. So initial coin offerings, what I said, and the cryptocurrencies are two major products in the financial world these days, which are based on blockchain. So initial coin offerings is just like an IPO, initial public offers, and these public offers we are going to discuss later. And these are those products are offered to individuals and to general public. Those who want to subscribe, they can subscribe the initial coin offerings, and these are through cryptocurrencies, and these products are being listed or they are being distributed. They kept in the distributed ledger, and this is through blockchain. So transfer of ownership and other things take place. So in the UNDP paper, they have highlighted the blockchains. These are the valuable tools for government. So this is the improvement of the technology. Even the tools for the government, the regulators, the private companies, and civil society also can use blockchain technologies, and it is more efficient and less costly, and it can tackle the issues like, it can bring more trust, and it can tackle the corruptions and distribute the resources and may ultimately help in attaining even sustainable development goals. So, so this is how technology plays a very important role in checking, reducing the corruptions, and also establishing the trust among the people and also the government things and others. Even the World Energy Council also identifies the blockchain. So blockchain is a distributed ledger technology. This is also very important for an issue of high impact and uncertainty in the future for the energy sector. So when things are going to be better utilized and better managed, so it is the blockchain which is going to play a role, not only for the cryptocurrencies, but in other sectors also. I mean, its efficiency help them to achieve the desired goals. Then let us see about the ICO issuance. So the ICO issuance is that initial coin offerings. So this is a successful implementation of new concept, and that gained actually publicity within the first 9 months of the year and became a talk of the financial markets across the globe. That is in the year 2017. So it is basically a form of crowdfunding that technology startups, companies, firms have been using to raise money by selling stock or going venture capitalist in the process. So this is the ICO issuance. So if you talk about the technology startups, firms proposes ICO, then you go to produces the white paper, like in our IPO system, then technical specification which they provide, then business model also, the company which is coming out ICOs, and the roadmap they are going to achieve, or scale they are going to operate and generate revenue. Then working type prototypes also, it is a proof of the concept. Then the team conducts series of intense marketing. So like in here also, if you go for that IPOs in the securities market, the stock market, so there also they have the merchant bankers and others, those who do the marketing. But here the team for the ICOs, they also do the marketing via forums and Google Ads, social media, video, bloggers and bloggers and reviews. So these are the via media through which they conduct the marketing campaign. Then they show the participants, those who are showing the interest and those who doesn't show the interest. Then if they are showing the interest, then the project outlines the terms of conditions and the tokens available, the price of each token, then the utility of the token, then how much the projects are targeting the raise. So this is the money raised through minimum fund requirement. So this is, as I said, is a crowdfunding, and this is a concept which was not started in India, but in other countries. Let's talk about the USA, let's talk about Japan, Switzerland, and other places. This has started, and many ICOs are in operations. So if the ICO is not fruitful, it does not materialize, the money is returned to the participants. But the ICO sales are launched and coins are distributed to the participants, those who are successful, like those who are successful here in India in IPOs. So they get the shares by paying the money. So this is the total ecosystem of initial coin offerings, and the transfers of tokens are recorded and is distributed ledgers, as I said in the beginning, ledgers through the blockchains, and the buyers pay for the instruments with cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoins and Ether. Once offered, these coins can be traded on digital currency exchanges. So like your IPOs or debt issues, those who are traded. So this is how the IPOs coming to the market. This is, we can term it as the primary market. Then when it is listed on the stock exchanges and traded, so it is called the secondary market. So this is the explosion. Let us see how the IPOs, number of IPOs are coming to the market, and how the total subscriptions and the number of investors. So if you talk about 2018, it started in 2014, So it was very less. Then 15 was also not significant, but 2018 it started. Like the number of IPOs, initial public offers coming to the market and people subscribing. Certain years are those where so many IPOs are there. Even last year also in 2020, there are so many IPOs, big IPOs come. They enter the market. So the latest one is coming. The biggest one is going to come from Life Insurance Corporation of India, and those who are really, keen to invest and make money, they can subscribe to that. So here, likewise, in the IPOs, the ICOs, the initial coin offerings, were the largest in 2018. If you show the graph, it is exponential growth. You can see how the graph is going up and up. And you see the blue, if you see the yellow patches, yellow colors, so it the flood of ICOs in 2018. So we do not have data, unfortunately, because the COVID is there. So ICOs, of course, it may be there, but there may not be so much of subscriptions. So let us talk about the ICO regulatory overview. So ISCO, which is the regulator, for which is a regulatory, you can say that for the securities market all over the world. So all are members of ISCO, like SEBI, like SEC, like FSA, all the market regulators in the capital market countries. So they are the part of the ISCO. So ISCO has actually expressed concern over ICOs, initial coin offerings, because as you know that it is a highly speculative investment, and people put their money, they invest their money, and they take a lot of risk. So they do not know whether they will get back this thing. So there is a lot of, because ISCO outlines the regulations for capital market for the entire world. Like the BIS, Banks for International Settlement, gives for the banking system, ISCO gives for the capital market. So all capital market regulators all over the world, country-wise, they are the members of this. So the ISCO has concerns because related to risk and the investors' concerns and the investors' protection also, in case there is a failure, whether they are going to get back the money or not. So there have been instances of fraud also in these cases also, and investors are reminded to be very careful. The ISO guidelines are very careful in deciding whether to invest in all ICOs. Like similarly, if you compare the IPOs, the regulator SEBI in India, is that we have all regulatory systems and procedures in place in case there is fraud, in case there is some sort of things. So SEBI takes care of this thing, and we have ICDR and LODR, those who are familiar with the IPO issuance, and we have completely investors' protections are there. Those who invest in IPOs, and if we have ASBA system also is there. Earlier people, those who apply for it, don't get their shares, their money they used to get after refund is used to take place after a long time, or they don't lose, or sometimes they do not get back the money. But the ASBA system is that once you get the money, once you get to the share allotted, your bank account will be debited, and till such time your money is safe in the banking system. So FSB also, Financial Stability Board in the banking system, also has won more international coordinations in ICO among the global regulators also. So though it is concerned with the banking system, but the financial stability part, so they say that it is the protection of the investors and the risk factors and other things taking into considerations. So they have, FSB also won international coordination in ICO among global investors. ICOs and crypto exchanges have to comply securities, commodities, and derivatives laws in US and Canada. The United States of America and Canada, they have already come out with the regulations of ICO and crypto exchanges, and for that they have to comply with the regulations, the laws for their commodities and securities if they're investing in India. I mean, investing in ICOs and other cryptocurrencies. But India is yet to come out with the regulations for ICOs. And so there has been a lot of debate about the ICOs, whether the transferable and EU markets and financial instruments directives regulations. So it is not full-fledged, it is emerging now also. So as I said earlier, the Switzerland Financial Market Supervisory Authority also has issued guidelines for ICO organizers. But unfortunately in India, I will come to that in the next slides. So what we are planning to do it. So as I said, characterizing the cryptocurrencies, mind it, the Bitcoin is one of the cryptocurrencies. Okay, it is not the entire thing. So if you talk about the total asset classes, it is the people really see that the currency is security and commodity. So these are the characterizing of cryptocurrencies. So they have, these are the three characteristics they have with them, the cryptocurrencies. So they have the currency, they have security type characteristics, they have commodity type characteristics. Then if you talk about that, how this has cryptocurrencies has gained momentum in 2020 Q3, is that it is very encouraging that how the 101 million dollar has been raised, and by opening 191 million accounts, and this has exponential growth of 190% increase. And if you see the graph, you will see this thing is that it is really fantastic and phenomenal. And the accounts are really significantly linked to an individual identity, and it allows the minimum user numbers associated with the account on each service providers. So the total number of crypto assets accounts held at service providers has experienced, as I said, over the years 2014 onwards, and the initial coin offering came in 2017 onwards. So it has fourfold increase. And this is the graph. I can show that how this has increased over a years. So the total market capitalization, this is excluding the Bitcoins, which is the number one in the market. And let us see that the people, those who have invested in Bitcoin and those who have invested in gold. So gold is considered as the best investment option for the people in India, as well as the share market, as well as land also. But if you talk, normally we say that gold with shares. So here the Bitcoin in 2011, the rupee, the value is 13 rupee. Now it is 43.60 lakhs. Imagine if you would have invested in 2011, and what could have been your net worth now? You could have been a billionaire. And those who have traditional mental mind, those who stick to the golden rules of gold is everything in a traditional society like India. So the value has not increased. 2011 is 26,400, and it hardly increased, maybe double, less than that. It's 46,850. So the people, this comes here as higher the risk, higher the return. The people, those who take risk, maximum risk, they get the return. But you have to take the calculated risk, or you have to be smart enough to diversify your portfolio in such a way that you get the best returns. But those who are highly risk, the big bulls, the Jhunjhunwala type, or Warren Buffett, or you can say Harshad Mehta, the late Harshad Mehta. So they are the big bulls. So those who see that, well, they have, huge portfolio money with them, so they can go for this type of taking risk by investing in Bitcoins. But the salaried class like you, me, and others, it will be very difficult to take such a huge risk and putting all your eggs in one basket. So that is not advisable. for many people, but those who are big investors, those who so they can take such risk by investing in bitcoins. So these are the, as I said earlier, there are so many cryptocurrencies are there. Bitcoin is number one, Ethereum is number one, then Binance Coin, Tether, Polkadot, Cardano, XRP, Uniswap, Bitcoin, and Chainlink. So these are the cryptocurrencies available in the market, and these are coming to the market through initial coin offerings, and after that they are all these the accounts of this thing, or the record of these things are kept in blockchain technologies with the ledger. So this is, yes, Sunil.
Good afternoon, sir. Sunil this side.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm from Maruti Suzuki. I have a question.
Yes.
Recently, government was thinking of again banning the cryptocurrencies. They are okay with the idea of blockchain. That is, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But they are thinking that we should have control over cryptocurrencies, and they are also planning to launch their own e-coin, similar to a Bitcoin. So, do you have any information, something like that, that we should be investing in Bitcoin
Yeah,
or not?
that I will come. That yes, the
Okay.
Finance Minister Miss
Yeah,
Nirmala Sitharaman has introduced a bill in the Parliament. So that I
exactly.
will discuss in the later stage. And initially, as you said, initially government was reluctant even to allow Bitcoin also, but now they have changed their mind. Not only government, because RBI being the currency regulator.
Right.
Okay, so they are the people, they were opposing it for the last 2 3 years. But
Exactly.
now when yes, when the entire world is subscribing to this idea, like people say that when the uh, idea of certain things has come, time has come for a new idea, you cannot stop it.
Right.
Okay, so now they are planning to have some regulatory system, ecosystem, so that they can regulate this thing in an orderly manner, so that the investors' protection will be ensured.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you. Yeah.
okay. Okay. So these are the currencies, the cryptocurrencies traded in this thing. But here the bitcoins is topping the list, and it has the highest market value, as well as the highest, you can say, the market cap, and the volume also, and the total value also. Okay, so among the currencies, the 10 currencies, cryptocurrencies which we have discussing. So this is the one where Bitcoin is very popular, are very much in demand. So like I can give an example, like there are some companies whose shares are on very much in demand. Let's say, just to give one example, I'm not giving any tips, not supposed to. Let's say like TCS, one company is a good company, or you can go for HLL, a good company. I mean, good shares are steady, or ITC. I'm just talking about this thing. So like that, among the cryptocurrencies, the Bitcoin is topping this thing. So this is the demand drivers of the cryptocurrencies. The speculations was is the highest here. The investment, when you see the return is very high, and these are the alternative currencies apart from what we have, the fiat currencies in rupee, in dollar, or in pound sterling, or whatever yen or Deutschmark, so or euros. So here the technology plays a major role, because it is the technology which is driving this thing. So this is being done by crowdfunding and the startups. And I said the market making is the best in this. So these are the additional features. So, and this is the economics of cryptocurrency. So I think I have to, cryptocurrencies, I will uh, be fast on my presentations. So these are the assets, how this is, um, how the crypto here is among the other major asset classes, how the crypto here is playing a, if you see the graph here, how other asset classes are there, how cryptocurrency is coming, it has major share in this thing. And apart from that, in others are also there. So I'll go to the next slide. So this is the financial stability and cryptocurrencies part. But people want to know that the BIS is that he said that if authorities do not act preemptively, cryptocurrencies could become more interconnected with main financial system and become a threat to financial stability. So there are people having different opinion when cryptocurrencies came into existence, and majorly the bitcoins. So if 1936, if you talk about 1936, just see that how the tulip, what could go wrong. So that time it was the hype, and then 2017 it is the bitcoins. The two, they have the comparisons, but both of them now have become successful. And here the volatility of the cryptocurrency and the consumer and the investor protections are weak. People say that, but still those who are big boots, those who are big investors, they put it. And there is also issues relating to weak understanding of them in the public, and many people do not subscribe to the idea. And also many people they lost their confidence or drying up the liquidity and the credit. And the cryptocurrency is very volatile, and the supply is not like, you will not get in abundance. These are in short supply, and those who take the leverage, so they get the benefits. And the people are there to see that how the cryptocurrencies to reduce the systemic risk in the financial system, because the financial system, they are under control and regulated by the monetary authorities all over the world, and cryptocurrency will be without any regulator. So it is self-regulated. And about the economic growth and blockchains, the experts say that because of these things, it will improve the payment system and payments like processes, enabling lower cost and increased speed because of the blockchain technologies. The cryptocurrencies can also enable the transaction cost also, and also it can be also reduce the remittances and efficiently. And the experts also say that it is it will be also effective in the financial inclusion, and it will provide more people to come and participate in this, and also it will protect those investors. And as I said, that the blockchains can be used for record management activities, like they're managing the cryptocurrencies with government services and other agriculture trading. So it has been proved successful in other countries. So I will skip this. So this is the regulatory focus. What we are going to do is that AML and tax, cryptocurrency will not adhere to this thing, and that market integrity, technology, consumer protection, custodial duty, and financial. So these are the regulatory issues which Reserve Bank of India and the government of India, they have been studying this thing, how cryptocurrency will go outside that purview, outside the regulatory system, and that will create a problem for them when the tax collection is there, and when the consumer protection is not guaranteed, and when there is no market integrity. And of course, the custodial duty is that it will be in the blockchain, and it is not in physical mode where other assets are there also. So the building the regulatory framework is that creating new assets, investment class for crypto assets, and the regulatory perimeter to include crypto assets, and accounting and other issues are there. And these issues are also creating headache for the government as well as the regulators all over the world, not only in India. In other regulators also, they are very skeptical about allowing the cryptocurrencies to be part of their payment system and currency system. So the RBI has set up this inter-regulatory working group on fintech and digital banking in India in 2017, and there also it was discussed about the fintech innovations and also about the supervisions and tight regulations, how the full-fledged regulations will help for reducing the risks for the investors. And there is also talk about the securities market. In case of SEBI, the fintech products are introduced in the market and regulators should have access for this thing. The financial sector regulators also need to engage with fintech so that they can come up with this regulating of these cryptocurrencies. So the focus which RBI issued, let me talk about the guidelines when these virtual currencies are there. So cryptocurrency is the virtual currencies. So they have issued a circular in 2018, and this is the first point when the RBI and Government of India prohibited the cryptocurrencies, because they said that it is not regulated by RBI and it will create problem for financial stability, as well as it will create problem for the virtual currencies, and it will create for there will be no record for how many currencies are there in the system, and a whole lot of issues like your inflation, like your financial stability, like your total currencies in circulations. So because this will be the cryptocurrencies will be outside the purview of the circulations. The other issues are maintaining accounts, registering, trading, settling. So these are not there in case of cryptocurrency. As I said, only blockchain technology will be used. So, but in other issues, like we have settling system in SEBIs, or in IPOG, that initial public offer, not ICOs. So these are the issues that will come up: maintaining the accounts, records, clearing, and other virtual tokens and accepting as collateral. So these are the issues which are in discussions with both regulators, RBI and SEBI. So this is the report released. If you want to see, you can see that that RBI has released 2017 white paper. Then 2018 also they have released. So these are to explore the possibility of blockchain technology in the banking sector, and there is a need to develop deeper understanding of the fintech. Then the government also explored to check the blockchain technologies proactively. So these are the issues those who have been discussed, and the working papers have been issued, and the discussion papers also they have issued. The latest is the enabling framework for regulatory sandbox by RBI. So they seek public opinion how to come with good regulations to check the blockchains and other cryptocurrencies, and how to regulate it, how to make the best use for the investors. So the cryptocurrency regulations, the official digital currency, which is the latest one, which, as I said, Sunil asked the questions. So this is the one which the Government of India, the central government, as earlier they banned it 2018. Now they said that when the new idea has come and the time has come, so we cannot ignore it. So we have to go with the other regulators, other countries. So the central government has finally said that yes, we'll bring a new bill on cryptocurrency. The bill was introduced, and the name of the bill is Cryptocurrency and Regulations of Official Digital Bill 2021. And this was discussed in the budget session, and now they have formed a committee, interministerial committee, to suggest private cryptocurrencies in India like Bitcoin, and this is under discussion. So now this means the thinking from RBI side, from government side, have changed. So now they may go for regulatory some regulations for introducing the official digital currency, and that will be regulated by Reserve Bank, being the currency regulator or the central bank of the country. So this was informed by the finance minister, and they may bring the bill in future, and existing laws may be drafted, or it may be changed, or it can bring more more regulations towards regulating the cryptocurrencies and including the bitcoins. And from the SEBI side, so SEBI side is that SEBI is going to, as I said, that crypto, that initial coin offerings, ICOs. When the ICOs are coming to the market, so then SEBI comes, like the IPOs. So SEBI actually really facing this problem, and SEBI has also constituted a committee on financial and regulatory technologies to identify these issues, and they have issued also regulatory sandbox. So when the when SEBI comes in the picture, it will regulate the initial coin offerings, ICOs, the cryptocurrencies those are coming to the market in the primary market, and when they are listed in the secondary market, traded in the secondary market, so the exchanges, in the crypto exchanges. So one thing I can share with you that one crypto exchange is there in Bangalore, where the cryptocurrencies are traded. So, but that is not officially. So that may be the dabba trading unofficially. People are doing that. So this is the one from the SEBI side. And the take the lion's share of the service providers of the customer care. So you'll find that how the countries over the world, how they are so keen in investing bitcoins, but in India we are still. But there are some people, those who are the first in the investment list, and those who are smart enough, having a lot of money, they have also invested. Just see that how this. I mean, the world, they have invested in the crypto assets. So definitely their thinking is ahead of us. So this is the customer breakdown. So the highest is the 75% in Middle East and Africa. So and 82% in Latin American, Caribbean, and European countries also 63%, and Asia Pacific is 75%. So this is the supported crypto assets. So here also the Bitcoin is topping the list, and others are also following that. Then the regulatory aspects, also in 2021, the Supreme Court also India released a judgment on RBI's ban. Earlier, as we discussed, RBI has banned the financial system engaging with any individual engaged in cryptocurrency related activity. So this was banned by RBI. Okay, so but Supreme Court released a judgment on RBI's ban, and the court claimed that RBI had in its way violated this Article 19 of the Indian Constitution. So it's the fundamental right to exercise any occupations. So you cannot completely ban, you cannot completely say that this is illegal. So RBI has to find out the ways to bring out the regulations, to control the activities, and to facilitate that the cryptocurrencies operate in India. So the Apex Court has stated that RBI's argument of financial crime lacked empirical evidence, because RBI, without any empirical evidence, they banned this thing. The first thing in India is that regulators ban, then they take it back and they come out with the regulations. So after this judgment, so now this bill is going to come, and this is the judgment of Supreme Court. So you cannot ban any particular commodity or assets or people's choice for investments. So and also the government of India also banned in 2018. So an absolute ban on the government of India huge ownership and sale of crypto assets. So what they say that it is not going to achieve anything. So you have to change your regulations, change your policies, and bring the legislation so that other people, the system should cryptocurrencies. So as the Martin Wolf says, change is indeed on the way, but it cannot be left to happen. So we have to be proactive, and we have to bring regulations. We have to allow other people to we have to allow other people to participate, And in a free market, in democracy, when in a free market, so you should have the choice to invest in different asset classes. When you have choice to either invest in shares, debentures, gold, land, um, debt, debt instrument. So like that, it is one of the instrument, the cryptocurrencies, and among the blockchain, Bitcoin. So that has to take place. So thank you very much for giving a patient hearing. So I am available if you are in office or by phone also. We can discuss, and I will try to resolve this. Thank you very much, Dr. Singh.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Malik. There is a question here from one of the participants. He wants to know, when blockchain is peer-to-peer based technology, how will authorities get to know about transactions? Via coin wallet?
Yeah, that is the actually peer-to-peer, and also it is a blockchain technology is used, so that they are coming out with the regulations, how the disclosure things will come into effect. So once is investing and he's putting the money, so disclosure aspect is they are going to cover it. We have not covered so far, but even it is secret for others also, and the risk part anybody knows this thing, but the disclosure part which SEBI is giving a lot of importance, and RBI also. So this has not worked out in case of India, but for those who are investing in bitcoins in other countries, so they know the when the share prices are disclosed by the exchanges, crypto exchanges. Okay, so the crypto exchanges, they display on their websites about the share prices, the prices of all cryptocurrencies, including bitcoins.
Right.
Is there any?
I
Is there any?
hope, Shashwat, I hope that your query would have been answered. There is another question. Given the volatility of cryptocurrency in current scenario, as it is based on supply and demand, isn't it a very unsafe class of financial asset and rendering it open to manipulation? Dr. Malik?
Yes. Yeah, this it's highly risk. Manipulation is not there because the trust is there, and the blockchain technology keeps all the records. And if it is based on the demand and supply, it is based on the demand and supply, and they have the records. So they share. They don't share with the public, but they share with the investors. So investors would come to know that they have invested at particular price, and what is the price now, and what is the volume, and everything is displayed. So there is no question of manipulations because it is transparent. Only thing that they are not coming under the regulatory purview of either, the central bank or the capital market regulator.
Right. Yuvraj, I hope that your question would have been answered. And that was a great question. Let me congratulate you on that. With this, we would conclude. Thank you, Dr. Malik, for sharing various aspects of cryptocurrency. Your presentation was quite insightful. Your lucid and detailed presentation on the subject today has enhanced our knowledge to a great extent. I would now request Dr. Shruti Malik to propose a vote of thanks. Shruti?
I'm sorry, my mic was off. So thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful session and organizing this lecture for us. Hope that today's lecture on cryptocurrency, bitcoins, and blockchain was full of knowledge. It gave deep insight into the topic and also revealed many interesting facts. I want to thank DG IICA, Professor Kamakhya Narayan Singh, IEPF Research Chair, for chairing this session, Devarun Kalita, Administrative Officer, and also Abhijit, Hemant, and Vineet from IT Department for their support and coordination. At Last not the least, thank you all the participants present here for paying your attention and learning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shruti. We have a few more
Hello.
questions, but unfortunately,
Yeah,
we have run out of time.
okay. Just one small thing I wanted to ask.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's okay.
Sunil, carry
Please go
on.
on.
Yeah, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask. I'm working on a white paper for applying blockchain in the voting process. So if somehow I can connect with you guys or maybe reach out to you, is there a portal to reach out to you?
You can call me, you can take the number, you can call me in my
Okay.
landline.
So from where I can have your number?
You are in ISCA, isn't it?
Okay,
Are you in?
I'll take your number.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you so
And
much.
we wish you to have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.